So today we're going to be talking about the Z Fold 6 again and Samsung's strategy with regard to support. And this is a video that I was actually going to save and work on later on this week so that I didn't do these two videos back to back. But this morning, something rather strange happened and I don't have the mental energy or time to come up with another video. I'll just show you what I posted here on Threads, taking out the trash this morning, and I came across a baby possum. I have a weird superpower where animals that are in need just sort of find their way to me. So that has happened again. So I'm going to get this video out of the way. I know I can rattle it off quickly, kind of get my thoughts out there, and then go take care of this baby possum. So I just posted a video just yesterday talking about the fact that Samsung is going to be rolling out One UI 6.1.1 to older devices. Devices as old as the Z Fold 4 are going to not only get that version of the operating system, but they're also going to be getting some of the best features from the Z Fold 6. Things like Sketch to Image. Apparently, that's coming to the Z Fold 4. And in that video, I kind of lightly touched on this idea of how it's interesting that Samsung does that, because a lot of other OEMs would say, Sketch to Image is a selling feature of the Z Fold 6. If we give it to the Fold 4, people who own the Fold 4 aren't going to buy the Fold 6. So they would leave it off, maybe give it to the Fold 5, maybe not even do that, and sort of push people to the new device. It's sort of a different strategy, right? You can do this one way or the other. You can try to use the features to drive people to the new phone, or you can support the old devices and sort of instill goodwill in your customers. Your customers are going to go, wow, Samsung is awesome. I bought this phone from them, and 2 years later, it's still getting new features, the new features of the new phone. I'm going to stick with Samsung. And then when I do buy a new phone, maybe it's going to still be a Samsung phone. There is that divergence there, right? And I kind of want to dig into this a little bit deeper, and I want to talk about why I think what Samsung is doing is the right approach. Not just because it's the right approach for consumers, right? Like that's just good for us. I think it's the right business approach as well. To do this, though, we need to kind of back up and talk about the Z Fold 6 itself, more broadly. Pretty much everyone that's talked about the Z Fold 6, myself included, we've all levied the same general complaint against it. It's that not enough has changed. There aren't enough new features. There's not enough hardware improvements this year. And it seems like the last few years, you could levy that complaint. Things have been very, very iterative. They've not been very aggressive at all. They've not been introducing tons of new features, and that is a problem when the Z Fold 6 comes out. And I talk about the fact that the new features it is getting seem like they're going to go to the Fold 4 and the Fold 5. I have seen several comments from people saying, oh wow, there's no reason to buy the Z Fold 6. And this is something that, yes, I get what they're saying, but it's not entirely true. There's not no reason. If you own a Z Fold 4 or Z Fold 5, there is likely very little to no reason to buy the Z Fold 6, but that is sort of the topic of the video. When you make a phone, you have a target audience. When you make a feature, there is a target audience. When you make an advertisement, there is a target audience. We have to think about, for the Z Fold 6, who is that target audience? Is it Z Fold 5 owners? Is it Z Fold 4 owners? Or is it the massive ocean of people who have never owned a Z Fold at all? I think the clear answer is it's that one. And for those people, what are they getting? They're getting an extremely mature, extremely polished, extremely well-made device. Not just in terms of hardware, but also in software. Granted, I've not reviewed it. I don't have it in my hands, but we can all pretty well assume, based on everything that we've seen, this is going to be, it's a 6th generation. My Fold 4 was very good. This is 2 generations later. It's going to be a very solid foldable. And yes, if you have a Fold 4 or Fold 5, it looks underwhelming. But if you've never had one of these things, it's going to be a great entry point. And yes, the price has gone up by $100, and that is definitely disappointing. But again, we have to sort of tweak our perspectives. I think a lot of us, the tech enthusiasts, and that's who you guys are in my comment section, and I appreciate it. I'm a tech enthusiast. You guys are tech enthusiasts. I get why you're here, and I get that perspective. You probably already have a Z Fold, or you've just followed them so closely that you're sort of almost like working yourself into a shoot, if I can use wrestling terminology, with this thing. I wonder how many people are going to have any idea what I meant by that. we'll use this Reddit post so that you can maybe understand like what I'm talking about. Basically, working yourself into a shoot. So you're taking the storyline, right? The storyline being that the Z Fold 6 just isn't worth being bought. It's not worth it. There's not enough new stuff, and you're taking that story and you're making it into the reality, when the reality is it's all dependent upon your perspective. Again, if you've never owned it, that's just not valid. You're coming in at a fresh entry point. You're not comparing it to the Fold 5 you already own. I hope that makes sense. Yes, it is 100% fair to say that these iterative upgrades are too small to justify any Z Fold user doing an annual or even every 2 years upgrading their device. That is 100% fair to say about this device. But you have to also understand that when you're talking about a $2,000 phone, people aren't doing that anyways. And I know there's going to be some of you in the comments going, I do that all the time. And that's great. You're a tech enthusiast. You are not the giant ocean of people who they are trying to capture. My camera just went out. It was a good take. We're going to roll with it. And look, I'm not trying to like defend what Samsung is doing necessarily. I would love to see them do both, right? You can roll the new features back to the old devices while also giving the new devices improved camera hardware, improved charging speeds. You can adjust the aspect ratio of the cover display to be more in line with what most people seem to be wanting. You can do both. But what I am saying is this Samsung strategy of giving the new features that are software to their older devices is brilliant. It does not hurt their sales because people are annually upgrading anyways when it comes to these very expensive devices. I would bet money that whatever sort of annual upgrade they lose by doing this, they're going to gain back several times over by the fact that that consumer, that owner of that phone, is so pleased with Samsung and their long-term software support that when they do finally upgrade, maybe in 2 years, they're going to go back with another Samsung phone because Samsung treated them really, really well. And they know that, hey, when I buy this, it's going to keep getting new stuff for a long time, and that's really important. As someone who has covered the Pixel Fold more than anyone else on planet Earth, I have seen the comments, I've seen the complaints from people who have their Pixel Fold and they're seeing the Pixel 8 have new features that took forever to come back to the Pixel Fold, or features that never have arrived on the Pixel Fold, and that does bum people out. And trust me, I have seen so many comments from people saying, I will not buy a Pixel Fold 2 because of the features that did not arrive on the original Pixel Fold. So again, I say to you, Samsung's doing the right thing here, and it's just smart, and it's what everyone else should be doing. At any rate, guys, those are my thoughts on this sort of narrow slice of the Z Fold 6 conversation. I think Samsung is doing the right thing, and I think that they're doing the smart thing. Again, that does not mean that I am defending them for the iterative hardware improvements and for not bringing more features than they have, but I am going to praise them heavily for taking what they have delivered and bringing a lot of it to the older phones. This seems like an uncontroversial position to take, but from the comments I've already seen in prior videos, maybe that's not the case, but I do want to hear those dissenting opinions in those comments down below, guys. Tell me why I'm wrong. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more content just like this, and until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.